Hello everyone. So this next video is a bit different. So I've written a few words to try and explain. We've been working on a YouTube video that attempts to tell the story of exactly what happened in the days where I was stuck in a rural village in the DRC. I've briefly spoken about what happened on my socials, but I've decided to delay making a video where I talk more in depth about this, as I feel like I haven't fully processed how I feel about everything that happened during that experience and the days after. This was obviously quite a traumatic event for me, and although it's probably changed me in ways I don't quite understand yet, what I do know is Project Africa is still happening. I will still 100% make it to Tunisia, and we will still be sharing as much of this journey with you as possible. I just need some time to sit on this one before I'm ready to go into it properly. Thank you for always backing us and supporting the cause. I hope you enjoy this video that kind of picks up a few days after what happened, and I will see you later.
My name is Russ Cook and I'm attempting to become the first person ever to run the entire length of Africa. This is where I started, this is where I'm going, and this is where I am now.
I've run 4,428 kilometers so far, and I've got 10,572 left to go. In this episode, we meet a man who builds houses out of mud, return to our favourite village chief, stay with the SAS, and I struggle to come to terms with the events of the last week. You rejoin us back in the chief's village from the night before the chaos. The little girl who had made friends with us last time was very pleased to see us.
Ready to be back on road?
Yeah, bruv.
So what's the plan now, the change?
So we're going to Cabinda, because it's the safest option and only one with tarmac, and it's the only option that's actually straight through.
Okay. So we'll meet you at 20, yeah? Do you want any support before that point? Cool, okay. Best of luck, mate. I hope your body's soon, alright? See you soon.
I hit the road again, determined to make a fresh start on a new route. In the events of the last few days, it had become clear that the van had no hope of making it up the mangled roads of the Republic of Congo border, so the new plan was to take a diversion into Cabinda, an exclave of Angola. While waiting in a tiny village to meet back up with me, the boys met a man who builds houses from the dirt in his garden. He very kindly agreed to tell his story.
So we're here in the village of Kikalu, which is just outside of Kinshasa. Yeah, and so we're here with a small family. Comment tu t'appelles?
Je m'appelle Michel.
Michel. Et monsieur, comment tu t'appelles?
Gomalfos.
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 C'est mon oncle.
Un plaisir, monsieur, un plaisir. Vous parlez français, Kiyombe, le
Congo, Lingala.
In this village, they speak 4 languages. Lingala is the national language, and then French obviously is the official language, but they also speak Kiyombe and Kikongo. There's 3 people who live in this house, and they build it by hand.
On est déjà fait cette brique.
So he's saying that it takes time because of a lack of resources to build it. He's like, you know, he can make the bricks, which you've seen outside. The bricks are ready because they have the resources here to make the bricks. But I'm assuming probably mortar, roof, wood, etc. takes time. Si vous pouvez expliquer le process pour construire le maison.
C'est difficilement.
C'est difficilement.
Maille de l'eau.
De l'eau.
De l'eau, elle va continuer à piétiner.
So he gets so it's the same ground that they use here with water. And they stamp on it. So that's the mold, and they put it inside, and then with patiner, which means to kick, they kick it and kick it and kick it. Afterwards they shave it, they shave all the excess off. And then later they fire the bricks. So he's made the bricks there ready for the next house. He's told me just now that the real problem here is that he doesn't have the money to finish it.
How much does it cost to make a house?
À peu près $300. $300.
$300.
$300.
Yeah.
$300.
To do the roofing, to do windows, to paint and basically.
Tout $500.
Yeah, so it'd be like it'd be about $500 for him to complete. So $800 total. Doesn't sound like a lot to us, the layman in the West, but you've got to understand that like out here in rural DRC, that's a lot of money for the average individual. They're doing it. They're building it right now. A beautiful home, but it takes time and resources that they don't have.
Non, non, nous travaillons sur.
They own the land here. They have the rights to the land here, and so he works with his own land.
L'élevage.
Ah.
L'élevage. Bien maison, on construit une grande maison.
Yeah.
Pour l'élevage.
For the élevage. Might not look like it, but they're growing stuff here.
C'est l'élevage.
Will that feed just the village, or will they sell that to actually make some money?
Et pour gagner le argent, vous allez vendre le produit, non?
Vous avez
It needs
prochainement
tools
diamant.
to harvest, so it'll be faster and quicker, and he could make more money and sell more. If he had
Moins de machines.
yeah,
Yeah.
to help him. Monsieur,
Merci.
non, prenez avec notre document.
Merci.
Montrez le culture de
Merci.
votre village.
Ok, merci.
C'est incroyable.
C'est mon village. Merci.
Merci beaucoup, monsieur.
He's back, waiting to be left in. Is it taking a toll?
I feel alright physically, my head.
So these guys here,
Brick people.
they're the brick makers, yeah.
Oh, is it?
So they've just been kind enough to show us their process and how they make it. All of them are made by hand, by stamping in dirt into a mould basically, and then that big pile behind you is waiting to be fired. They've literally spent the last 3 years building a house for their mum. It's really cool.
That is actually sick.
People out here are f***ing resourceful, aren't they? I don't think there's many Brits that could build a home out of their back garden.
No. 2 homes.
So we just had a nice interaction, but as always, it's time to bounce. We're not going to film me running off because it's a little sketch to get the cameras back out, I think. Well, good luck. We'll see you in 20, yeah?
My body was feeling really strong as I powered towards the 50k mark, but my mind wasn't. I felt completely out of it and totally on edge, making each kilometre a struggle. I finally met back up with the boys at a police stop.
Alright mate, what's that? Is that 49?
51.
Very strong lad.
Very strong. Yeah, my legs are good. But yeah, get there.
Is it your psyche that's struggling?
Yeah, I just don't know how to describe it. I don't know, I'm just not quite there to be honest with you. How is everyone?
Okay. We're all pretty knackered.
First stop was so good, and then we tried up the road like at like 19.
Yeah.
And it started well and went south pretty quickly.
But they give me a bad vibe from the start. There were 2 groups of people that came. One group was fine, the other group just had a bad energy from the beginning, and they didn't say anything crazy, but they were just like, you shouldn't be here.
And I was like, yeah, it's just bad for us to park in the street because of all the trucks and buses passing by.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, well, you can't stay here.
Which is
You
code
should.
for, this is our horn, off.
Yeah.
So, we did.
And we've got a friend.
Fucking hate wasps, man.
It's only a B, it's only a B.
Still. Okay, Russ.
Alright, mate.
How far left to go?
There's only actually 9k left.
No, we're going to probably just fly by you to pick you up because it's getting a little sketchy around here.
Yeah. Sounds good, boys.
Cool.
Fucking hate wasps, bruv.
It's a bit.
Bees aren't bad.
Yeah, I don't want to live with them though. You know what I mean?
We're not as roommates. Yeah, probably wise. Bye.
The final 9k took me out of the most jungly terrain into open plains. Despite having had mostly positive interactions that day, I still had my guard up, and so did the boys, scooping me up quickly at the finish line.
Hello.
Hello.
We've done a flyby pickup because this area is sketch. Anyway, good run today. You didn't. I was worried that your body would be a bit f***ed, so I'm glad.
Yes.
I'm glad that it's on the mend. Obviously, your mind's got some f***ing shit to push through, but.
That night we entered the town of Boma and stayed in a very expensive but very welcome hotel room to rest up ahead of the following day. The next morning we left the hotel and headed back to the start line, passing 11 police stops on the way. By the time I made it, it was late.
Okay, quick drop off, ready to go.
Yeah, there is no f***ing about here because it's sketchy.
Yeah, it is.
So I'm just gonna get out of the car and start running.
No way.
I'll see you in 25k.
Cool. See you in 25.
Nice one.
Enjoy.
Cheers, mate.
Be safe. Cheers.
Running through Boma was intense. It was a nice city, but the volume of people made it hard to get any momentum up, both physically and psychologically. Eventually I broke out of the dense building and met back up with the boys at 25k.
Hello.
Alright.
How you doing?
Yeah. This looks like actually it's quite a safe bit.
Decent. All those villages and towns are quite busy.
Yeah, very busy, man.
Yeah, got mugged off again.
Drove down a supposedly one-way street. Donnie's in uniform, not feds, but something like Trans VCOM on their shirts and hats or whatever, and they're basically like, oh, you know, there's an infraction, this is a one-way street, so that's a fine. And I was like, that's convenient, isn't it?
Yeah, what's the fine?
And I basically said that, it's like, well, we didn't know anything about it, you put no road signs in place, so we're not going to pay it. And he was like, you're going to pay it. And I was like, we've got it 20,000 franc. And he was like, no. 100, and I was like 40, and he was like 80. And he had Jared's driving license.
Put my driving license in his pocket and walked away.
And I said to him, I was like, listen, I was like, you give us the driving license back and then we pay. And he was like, sorry, I don't understand. And his mate explained it to him, and he was like, okay, we do it at the same time. So I held the license and like passed him the money and fucking yanked the license away.
I felt so anxious this morning, but luckily for me, running's quite good therapy, so
Yeah.
that's alright.
It's still good therapy if you're running through the place that's giving you anxiety.
That's something. I had a good chat with them, which always helps.
Okay, we're heading back out. How many stops are we doing today? One.
Who knows?
What's the plan? We're heading towards the Cabinda border now.
Yeah, so we've still got visas for Angola that is valid, and so does Jared. But Harry's isn't, so Harry's submitted. Have you submitted it? Yeah. We can't actually go to Angola until Harry's got his e-visa through, which could take up to 3 or 4 days. We're about 2 days running away from the border. Basically, we're going to try and get into Cabinda as soon as possible as a relative point of safety. I think Cabinda will be, if we get ourselves in a place, in a half decent place there, and then from there we're gonna do a few game plan sessions to make sure we get through the next couple months intact. Harry's gonna take a break in Cabinda, so we're gonna get a French speaker coming in. There's a few things that need to happen. I'm just in the process of getting my ducks in a row at the moment to figure out exactly what. But yeah.
Can you stop trying to kill Mozzie with an axe?
Did get it to f off though. Did leave the van.
Look at that the smugness on your face.
After I left, Harry found himself with some spare time, and out of maximum violence and maximum boredom, fashioned himself a massive off spit.
So what's the crack? You just sorted accommodation for us for a couple of days.
Yeah, basically, it's kind of what I do.
Just wait for a minute there. Just bask in your self-importance and then carry on.
Yeah, that's what I do. So yeah, basically I make shit happen. We had the.
I hated you.
I got a message from George. George works in logistics here in the DRC, and basically he's offered us a safe compound for the next 2 nights with a bunch of expert military and special forces French guys. So that'll be interesting. But it's a safe place for us to stay. It's a good contact to have, and yeah, he wants to put a little WhatsApp group together with these guys who can help us with security concerns and planning potentially on the way north.
There are a bunch of people crossing the road towards our way.
I think we should get moving anyway though.
Yeah, we should.
I ran on another 25 kilometres back in the relative comfort of rural terrain. I was still struggling a lot. The trauma of the last week was taking its toll, but I pushed on, eager to finish the day before dark.
Don.
Don.
Yeah.
Very good, very good.
So what is this place again? We're going tonight?
So it is a compound, French Special Forces.
No way.
And so yeah, the SAS, SF, and there's a SAFA as well. They've got a kitchen we can use. They've probably got a shower. I'm almost certain they've got a shower we can use. And they know about us and what's happening and what we're doing. The manager of the British team was saying he's been following us for a long time, since day 20. And he was like, these guys are f***ing wild.
What's going on, boys?
The English and the French made friends.
They literally took a crate and just dropped sandwiches on the table. He's going to get us beers now. They're looking after us for a couple of days. We've got some rave party lighting going on as well.
We love it.
Pizza place nearby. There's sandwiches, there's beer. What do we think of the house, boys? Let's take a look. Mate. Just to be able to visit a place that feels close to home. It's such a privilege. You know, we love having these cultural experiences out here, but we do miss home a lot. And it's nice to just feel 100% welcome in a place, just for a couple of nights. You know, it's really comforting. We're all just like, I just feel like I've been portal towards center reality, where the guys just came down, shook hands and said hi. Really cool. Thank you, George. And also this, may I just say, what, half an hour after we just saw tracer rounds fired nearby.
That was pretty wild.
That was pretty wild.
It's just weird to see gunfire so close.
Finally feeling a bit of ease, we settled into the compound with some pizza. I headed to bed and the boys spent the night being drank under the table by the French Special Forces.
You should drink more whiskey, lad.
What I've learned from this trip is that if Harry does have one more drink, you don't. No, Harry, don't waste the whiskey, seriously. Seriously, I don't want it. Stop pouring.
You've got to drink it, because it would be disrespectful.
Okay.
Okay.
Good night last night.
Yeah.
We had pizza, which was extremely small.
It was still good pizza.
Good pizza. How are you feeling about today? It's been a rough few for you.
Yeah. I just gotta keep going and get it done. It's only what, like 3 days until we get to Govinda.
I think you feel so much better when you cross that border, man. I think partly because the terrain's more open as well.
Yeah.
But it's quite suffocating being in the jungle.
Yeah.
Home straight.
Home straight. Right.
Best of luck to you, lads.
Cheers, bruv.
Boy.
Something felt different about this part of the DRC. Perhaps my nerves had been put at ease by the lovely guys at the compound, but the whole area felt more relaxed, and that pushed me forward through my first 25k. It is a bit hot, innit?
It is a bit hot.
Oh yeah.
Might be a bit too hot.
Oi, oi, oi. Might be.
It's worse in here. Can't lie. At least it's been a bit of cloud. Very hot.
How is everyone?
Good. Yeah. How are you?
Yeah, alright. Oh mate, it's that tarmac in it. Just
brand new as well.
Yeah, brand new tarmac.
And black.
Soaks it.
Decent running.
Yeah, it was alright.
Quite hilly.
Yeah, it was a bit. What can you do, bruv?
I think you should complain.
Complain to the commissioning body.
Just to the world.
To the world.
Just, I think probably the best attitude you could have right now.
Moan all the time.
Just moan.
Can't like 100% moan.
All the time. Just have a really like negative mental attitude. NGA. It's the new trend on TikTok. PMA is out the window. We'll get no views if you've got this positive bullshit.
No. It kind of feels like a chill few days because it's only 50k.
And
then we've got the border tomorrow.
Yeah.
And we're in this fucking
it's like
cushy setup with the military boys tonight, so we've kind of got that sorted. There's no uncertainty.
Project Africa light.
Like, it's a good chance to get stuff done, like loads of washing today and shit.
Fucking hell, I just want to briefly talk about Russ's bag of washing.
Oh,
I walked. I heard Jared gagging, and and I was like, "You okay, mate?" And he was like, "Jesus, bro, Ross's clothes bag is the worst thing I've ever smelled, and I'm like, it can't be that bad. I walk into the room he's in, and I gip. Like, I'm not even next to the bag. I don't sniff anything. I just walk into the room. It's like a fucking wall of smell.
Well, what you've got to imagine is that bag is like 3 weeks of washing, and quite often I'll bucket bath and get some of my clothes wet, and they won't fully dry, and then I'll put them in the bag, so they're sweaty, wet. They never dry, and then they're left there for 3 weeks in a bag full of other things that smell.
It's a terrible thing.
So
it's like a compost bin of clothes.
Yeah, it's bad. Up and ride away. Oh, it's got a bit cloudy. That's lovely.
It's nice. Bit of wind as well. Love to see it. All right, go and rep Senegal for the world, mate.
See you later. Captain Senegal.
The heat was unbearable late in the day, and I was sweating my ginger tits off. But another late start meant I was racing the sun as well as cooking in it, and so I pushed on through at pace. My mind still wasn't quite right, but I wasn't going to let that stop me.
How do?
Hello, mate. Yeah. Day, what is that? 109.
100 and something. Bish bash bosh. How far did you make it? Did you get the full 50 in?
50, yeah.
Cool. We'll keep the chat short so we're getting dark. Yes, it is. See you soon.
We headed back to the compound for another evening. Border day was imminent, so we got to bed early, preparing for the final day in the DRC. In the next episode, we try to leave the DRC, but more mashed up roads make that harder than we ever expected.